When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to my guest, Dr. Granville Hall. He is from the parish of Westmoreland. He attended Manning High School. He's a medical doctor. He is vying to represent Eastern Westmoreland. Dr. Hall, welcome to Make We Talk, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tavares, for having me.
So tell me something now. What prompted you to enter representation politics?
That's a question that has been posed to me on multiple occasions. But you see, when you're in public service, and as a doctor, we come across multiple persons that are in need. And sometimes you cannot effect changes from the position that you're in. And I think the best place to start to make tangible changes is through politics. So that was one of my major push, because I have seen a lot of stuff happening in and around, especially in Eastern Westmoreland, that I think that going into politics would help me better to help my fellow constituents, right? But when to go a little deeper, I've always been a avid supporter of the People's National Party, because they have supported my family and supported people around me for the longest while. I believe in the policies and ideologies of the People's National Party, of socialism, and that was one of the reasons why I picked the ticket of the People's National Party to serve. I am a doctor because of the People's National Party, and because I got a scholarship to go to Cuba to study, during the early 2000s, right? So the policies that the party stands for has been the main aspect why I am a part of this institution.
So, Dr. Hall, what new are you bringing? Eastern Westmoreland have always been a PNP stronghold. If my memory serves me correctly, the late Custis for the parish of Westmoreland, James McLean Thompson, was a member of parliament for Eastern Westmoreland at one point.
Right.
His wife was councillor, and his son Norman Thompson was also a councillor. And
definitely,
what is prompting you now to go and represent them, and what new ideas are you bringing to the table?
All right, definitely. So yes, Eastern Westmoreland has traditionally been a PNP stronghold. You know, unfortunately, in the past election, we lost it. We had it from 1989. And when we lost it in 1980 to UFEMA. So we've had this constituency for a very long time, and we've produced a number of persons from the constituency that has served well. Now, when the over the past couple of years, a lot of persons within the constituency have been stating that they haven't been served the way that they should have. Being a constituency that is predominantly PNP, they believe that throughout the past couple of years, they haven't been served the way that they expected to. A lot of persons stated that in the last election, persons, if you looked at the voting, the numbers, we actually lost a number of PNP votes. We went down from prior elections. We were having like 6,000 voters. Prior to that, we were having 8,000 when Comrade Patterson had the seat. We were getting 9,000 votes, right? In the history of the times, majority of the time, the Jamaica Labour Party were getting like 3,500 votes, right? The last elections, the voter turnout for the Jamaica Labour Party went up to 4,900 and something votes, while ours fell significantly, right? So, but that was due to a lot of comrades sitting at home, not coming out because of some way or form that they didn't felt pleased about what was going on within the constituency. Now, looking at what was going on, as you know, there's been when we look at infrastructure, not much has been happening within Eastern. Look at the road structures, water issues, employment opportunities for youngsters. We kind of dropped the ball, right?
Yes.
So no, as you said, what am I bringing to the table? No, I don't want to seem like I'm biased towards youngsters, but I'm a little bit. I believe that we need to engage the youths within Eastern. We need to create programs that and policies and stuff like that that will get their attention and put them more involved, right? So I'm pushing for the youngsters. I'm pushing for activities that increase their participation. Over the past couple of years, we haven't been having much sporting activities, and a lot of our playgrounds and those little areas have been deteriorated
Yes.
significantly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for me, it is important to get that back up and running. Sporting is important, especially if you want to get participation of the young people, and it is also going to create an impact on how we see crime and violence, surging in the community currently. Because when you have different community members playing in a competition, they create a bond from there, right? And it's less likely for them to create violence against each other, you know, when we have these activities going, right? um, a lot of young people within the constituency don't see agriculture as a source of income, as a way of which you can make a living. Now, Eastern Westmoreland is a rural community, and is a rural constituency, and agriculture is one of the main source of income for a number of the persons within the constituency. No, it is going to take a lot of teaching programs, seminars for the youngsters, for them to understand that this is a way that you can go. Now, I know we haven't been investing a lot in the agricultural sector, especially make it competitive on the market, especially competing against other parishes. um, a lot of the farmers would tell me that, here, what we produce the crops, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
have the market for it. So it is important for us to show them how to market these goods. Now, another main issue that I would really like to see resolved when it comes on to the farming issue is storage. Now, you know they'll produce the crop because it's in excess. They don't get the sale for it, but yet they can't store it, right? So a lot of persons are not pushing towards farming because of those little issues, right? um Persons who drop out of school, education is extremely important, right? um we need to start putting in some extra extra classes for these youngsters so that they can actually achieve the basic minimum requirement for a job.
But Dr.
Those
Hall,
little look, yes,
sorry to be cutting, but a lot of people may say this. They've heard all of these promises before from people who are trying to represent them.
true.
So, what sort of new idea? I mean, you say you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Give us something. The people who are you may say 27 people here listening now, but you
Right.
have people who will come on and listen more because you want to send it out. People will come in, but give us something that has never been done by a former member of parliament or someone who's trying to get the seat in Eastern Westmoreland. You're a young man, a young, vibrant man, full of vigor and vitality. I mean, you have a lot of work to work to do in Eastern Westmoreland to grasp back Eastern Westmoreland for the People's National Party. So tell us in a nutshell what a Dr. Hall is going to do for the people in the sense of you have elderly people who they're not getting the proper pension. You have part program people who want to step in the line. God help them, son, bond them, bond them, come. What a Dr. Hall is going to do, what an MP Hall is going to do to alleviate those problems.
You see, Mr. Tavares, you see, a lot of the time, the important part is to be in touch with the people,
Yes.
right? We have lost the the old time politics where you go around and you sit down and you speak to the persons within the constituency and get their feedback. What is going on? I've been doing this over the past year, and it's really not when somebody says what's new in the constituency.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have lost you there a while ago, Doc. Dr. Broomfield? Dr. Hall? My Lord. I think we have Doc, we have lost you. Doc, are you there? Are you hearing us, Doc? Are you hearing us? I'm seeing that I'm not hearing you. My Lord. I think we're having some technical difficulties from his end. Doc, are you hearing us?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes. We have lost you there
I'm
a while
hearing
ago.
you now. Yeah.
Okay, go
We
ahead.
Yes. Right. So what I was getting at is that a lot of the issues that are faced here has been old issues. You know, so I'm not trying to I'm coming with new ways in which you go to the delegates, right, and the people of the constituency. Now, as I was saying, that we are having issues with the youngsters, where we have lost them for the longest while, and we have to and my aim is to touch base with them and to ensure that their views and their vision is accomplished, right? So so when I say that, here what I'm going to focus on the youngsters at the constituency. It it is going to be an initiative that is pushed by young people within the constituency, and it is going to be an initiative that they want in this area, and it's something that I've been seeing, and I've grown up in this place. And we, throughout the years, a lot of the times when it comes on to politics, we leave the youth out of it, and it creates an issue along the line. Now, the last election, they said we lost it because of the switching the vote for the young people, because we
Yes.
believe that there's nothing that is going on, and we weren't touching base with them and hearing their concerns. majority of these youngsters just need somebody to listen to them and see where they're coming from and where they're falling short. So I think that what's new that I'm bringing to the table is listening to the youth and bringing them on board when it comes on to
Yes.
policy making and decisions within the constituency, because it is important.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Hall. A Jamaican, a young Jamaican, a young medical doctor in Eastern Westmoreland, a son of the soil. You went to Manning's High School, you end up going to Cuba to do your
Yes.
medical training. What is going on in our country now where they're drafting a new constitution? The Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs had a forum in Montego Bay in Shamshab Square. You hardly see any young people in the audience. It's pure old people like me
Yeah.
who soon gone home to the Lord.
Because you
I
see,
asked him to
this
give me,
is the
hold
problem
on
is
there.
the way. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on a minute. I asked him to give me some more time that I can continue, you know, speaking for the poor people of this country.
Definitely.
If you get the opportunity to speak to the Prime Minister or the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs about the young people coming on board pertaining to a new constitution, because a lot of Jamaican young people don't understand the constitution. You know? A lot of people don't understand the meaning of republic. You been trying to get the member of parliament for a constituency. Maybe you can explain to our viewers and our listeners what is the meaning of a republic, because people have been asking the question. What is the meaning of a republic? Is the republic going to help Jamaica solve Jamaica's crime pandemic? Is it going to help Jamaica in the $2 trillion debt that we owe? What is going to help for us? What is this whole republic thing? Are we going to be a republic where Jamaica's crime problem still plague us? Doctor?
You see, being a republic, it's important. It's definitely important, especially when we're talking about self-governance and the, you know, self-actualization. We have moved away from. We need to move away from the Commonwealth and move away from the Queen as the head of state, which is, well, the King currently
Mm.
as the head of state. But so it is important for that. I'm not going to tell you that it is going to solve our crime problem and it's going to pay off our debts when we move away, because it's going to cost us moving away, definitely. We the when it comes on to, I'll hit the crime issues a little later, but as I said, it is definitely important for us to become a republic, for us to have this self governance, the right
Yes.
form of self governance, to put it like
Okay.
that.
So do you believe in a ceremonial president, or you believe in a president that should be elected by the people, not appointed by a prime minister?
I think eventually we could go there where it's elected by the people, but for now, I think, as in, what, getting this thing done and over with, I think the ceremonial president is going to be the first option. No, the way in which the president is going to be elected is the important part.
Mm-hmm.
I know our party leader would have spoken about it. We don't want it to be that here what is just consultation with the opposition, but it must be. We must set it at a particular percentage, a vote from the opposition side, that we know that here what is not just that, if you have majority in parliament or majority, you can just put in whoever you want. It must be a common consensus between, both the opposition and the leading party when we come in, when we're going to select the president.
And do you think that at this point they should do more to educate the younger set of Jamaicans and even the older set who don't understand what they're
But of
doing?
but of course, I think the campaign for this hasn't been widely promoted like it should be. I think there should be more things on the radio station, on the TV, flyers going around, more pop-up meetings in these communities for persons to understand what we are going to undertake, right? And the effect that it is going to have on each and every one of us. So I think that we are lacking in the promotion aspect of this, so that persons can understand. Because when you go around and you speak to persons about this transition, they'll tell you that, here, what, I don't see where Jamaica is independent, and I don't see where we need to move away from the monarch. So I think we need a lot more of promotion for this. I think maybe we need to start explaining it in the schools, so that the youngsters can understand what are the benefits of this. Because really and truly, I don't think young people really, I don't think they really care so much, because they don't understand. A lot of them don't understand. So it's important.
What are you, as a member, a future member of parliament for Eastern Westmoreland, what are you going to do to educate the young people in your constituency more about the whole constitution reform and Jamaica becoming a republic? And because I know you start your campaigning already, because I've
Yes.
seen videos, on your platform, and people send it to me and say, look, he's already working.
Yes. So I've implemented seminars. So I
Yeah.
generally like to talk to youngsters. I've done that through the health medium. We do it in certain communities. We sit down, we speak to them about certain health issues and stuff like that. So I think it's something that I should I haven't started doing it, but I think it's something that I should incorporate in these little seminars and programs that I have going currently. Because and that was one of my major steps, when I started. Because I am coming from the regional level as the chairman in charge of outreach and recruitment. And I have the PNP-YO, the People's National Party Youth Organization, as I kind of supervise some of. I have that under my portfolio
Yes.
as a regional chairman. And my aim is to ensure that we form groups within the community, try to recruit the youngsters, get them on board, and allow them to participate in politics as much as possible. Because a lot of them believe that, here, what, this politics thing is it's rubbish.
Yes.
All just con artists and persons who want something goes into it, right? So we have to try to show them that, here, what, this is a different type of politics that we're bringing here.
Mhm.
We want persons to be participating in it and know that they're here, what, their vote counts each and every time that they do. You know.
Doc, what is your party's plan? Because every 5 years, I don't know if you can answer the question, but every 5 years, political parties in Jamaica come, we can make a sleep with the door open. And they come with a sort of shibangarang. And the people of this country, from 1962 until now, the two political parties cannot protect the people of this country. And in a modern democracy, if you don't have security, education, health, and jobs, then there's something fundamentally wrong with the governing of a nation. Now you are going into politics as a young man. What would you say to your party leader and to your party in the sense of a secure Jamaica? That people can go about their business feel free. They can travel in minibuses without any gunman shooting up the buses, or any gunman holding up very security system to get money. What, as a doctor, medical doctor, who you hail from the parish of Westmoreland that we love so much, what can we do to alleviate the crime pandemic in this country, sir?
All right. You see, as a doctor, and I look at the crime issue as how we look at any chronic disease. Um, when we talk about chronic disease, we know that it's happening, and we try our best to alleviate the risk factors. So we always preach prevention before curing. All right. So when we look at the crime issue, the crime and violence issue in Jamaica, it's a multifactorial issue.
Yes.
And so we have to hit at the risk factors, and it is going to start within the communities, within the home, within the schools. Um, when you look at it, a lot of these violence producers are from majority of them are from single parent homes, and maybe even from single mother homes, right? So it is we need to focus significantly on a family structure. The family is important, and I think we need to create policies and incentive for a nuclear family, for a family with a mother and a father there to take care
Right.
of their kids, right? So we need to start hitting it from the ground up. We know that single parent family homes have high risk of producing producers. Hit at it there. Cut the risk factor there. We need greater involvement within the community sector. So we need the churches on board. We need more community policing. We need to start teaching. We need to start having conflict resolution seminars within the communities, and even teaching it within the schools, right? So the aim in getting down the violence, it is going to be from the base up, trying to hit out against the risk factors that we see in majority of these youngsters, and it's young men that you see in majority of the cases that are causing these issues. Now, one of the other thing that we see frequently in the hospital is, the violence against women, the violence within the family itself. And when you have a child within a family, seeing the father beating the mother, or even the mother beating the father, or even the mother beating the father, because you do have issues like that. It creates these problems from the family, coming from the family structure. So, as I say, we need to start hitting out against certain some of these things that are going on within the communities, so that we can achieve, greater improvement in the crime sector.
Do you? I know you came on here to talk about my beloved parish of Westmoreland, the the constituency of Eastern Westmoreland. And by the way, the late Costas was the one who helped to raise me and send me to school.
Right.
So, I have a love for Fort William and Grange and all those places. What is it that you let me rephrase it this way. Do you believe when the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police comes up with a crime stat, it said that crime is down how much percent? When up to last night, a barrage of gunshot was around the KPH. So I'm trying to figure out, are they living in a different Jamaica than people who lives in Ream and Jungle?
Well, I can't speak to their statistics and where they got their statistics from. No, it's not reflective on what's going on within the communities, because every day you hear somebody's, some gun violence going on somewhere, some robbery going on somewhere, somebody getting killed because of same. So, you know, I can't say that their statistics are wrong. I just, it's really hard
Yes.
for me to comment on that. I can only go from what they're
Mhm.
they're presenting.
But what is going on now? Even Westmoreland. That used to be a peaceful parish. Negril, a peaceful community. You have gunmen rampant down there now. Do you know if the police forces, you trying to be a member of parliament, soon to be a member of parliament for East and Westmoreland, who knows? Andrew, call the election. If you call, you lose. Anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself tonight. Do you believe, what do you see going on down there with the crime situation? Do you believe the police is being given the equipment to serve the parish of Westmoreland?
You see, I don't believe so. I think we are stuck in trying to I think the way in which they're going about to resolve the crime situation is not the right way. So creating states of emergencies, that's not working. We've seen it done over and over for years now, and we're not getting the results, right? So punishment for crime, when a person that is creating it don't believe that they will be caught. Majority of these persons, they don't think that when they kill somebody they're going to get caught. So if you're focused on punishment rather than prevention, then that is going to create an issue. We're having police burnout. We're having the Jamaica Defense Force getting burnout because they're out there right through. You know, I don't think they have the proper resources to combat the crime that's going on. No, majority of these violent producers have bigger weapons than the police force, right? Within Eastern Westmoreland, even wider Westmoreland, you have police stations that don't even have a functioning vehicle to respond to any crime. So I think there should be greater investment in our law enforcement. Um, you know, so to answer your question, I don't think they're doing enough.
I hope the mayor Bertel Moore, welcomed the Prime Minister Westmoreland this morning in the opening of something down there. We have lost him again. In the opening of some whatever they had down there. I hope Mayor Bertel Moore tell the Prime Minister that the police stations in Westmoreland need proper service vehicle. Because sometimes all we do is hug up and suck up, and the needs of the people are not being met. So
True.
I hope, Dr. Hall, that when you become the next member of parliament for Eastern Westmoreland, I hope you chat the chat and walk the walk.
Definitely. I'm
Because
I'm here. I'm here to serve the people of Eastern Westmoreland. So I'm here to hear their concern and represent them to the fullest. We're not here to for the likes and to make people feel good. If it is that we need to speak up about a certain issue, it must be heard. you know let it cause it what it will, and cause and the emotions that it may create in other persons. But we're here to serve the people, and we're here to listen to them and put their concerns on the table so that they must be addressed.
let me ask you this. Have you done a poll by yourself in Westmoreland to see? Well, let me not go that way. The recent poll that I have seen that Westmoreland is gaining traction for the People's National Party. What is your views on that?
We
You're
have
on
been
the ground in Westmoreland.
Yes, and it is solid. We have been doing the work in Eastern Westmoreland, in Eastern and in Westmoreland by far.
Right.
A lot of we lost, to be honest with you, we lost the seats because sometimes we weren't in touch with the ground like we should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We weren't listening to the people like we should have been. Now we're back on the ground. We're touching base with the persons. We're listening. We're doing a lot more work. and it is showing in the polls, right? So as you rightfully said, the polls are showing that the Westmoreland is pushing towards the People's National Party, and it is true. That's how it feels on the ground.
Because I know Western Westmoreland was Dr. Wickham McNeil. His father was there for a period of time till the Lord take him home. Then you have Central Westmoreland,
Right,
Eastern Westmoreland,
right.
all PNP stronghold. And election night, I was doing election coverage on Roots and the 6.1 FM. And I told my good friend Dudley Thompson, listen to me. And my exact word, I said, listen to me. PNP, Westmoreland is PNP country, but the Labour Party gonna swipe them out. And so said, so done. I am not a member of any political party. I'm a neutral person. But based on what is going on now in this country of ours, the people not seeing the prosperity that the Labour Party promised them. Westmoreland on a whole is a cane community and tourism belt because Negril helped build tourism in Jamaica. You know and I know. So all those who believe that Negril not contribute to tourism in Jamaica, them lying. What is your views on the whole tourism mecca of Negril coming through the entire Westmoreland? Because you have rolling river that run through eastern Westmoreland, isn't that so?
Yes.
Yes. There's nothing going on at Rolling River anymore. Is any tourists coming up there?
I think they still have a little attraction there for tourists. Yes. Due to the COVID era, the tourism sector kind of took a little dive, well,
Right.
significant dive, and there's a lot of persons would have lost their investment, and a lot of businesses may have closed down, but it's on a rise now. It's getting better. I think with we can now invest a little more on the south coast, because White House section, definitely it's part of Eastern, but there's a lot of improvement that can be done there, and a lot of investment opportunities are there for tourist attractions. There are other little areas that
Attractions.
that can be improved for tourist attraction. I'm from in Eastern Westmoreland. Once, when I was younger, I used to go to Seaford Town all age. Seaford Town is a German settlement, one of the German settlement towns in Jamaica.
I never
And
know.
they, yes, definitely. And they used to have significant tourist attraction there, and a number of tourists usually come there to view the museum, to go around the community, and speak to persons there.
Right.
I don't see that happening anymore. So those are areas that we can improve upon, and create better even employment for persons around the area. You know.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I mean, when you look on, there are so many things that can be done. I know they're having a problem with water in Westmoreland.
Significant.
What are you gonna do if you become the member of parliament? What are you gonna do to help the people to have running water? Doc, we're speaking. Yes. What are you gonna do for the people who can have running water in their pipe in 21st century Jamaica?
You cut out a while ago. I didn't
Oh,
hear. I didn't hear much of what you said.
sorry. I'm asking you the question. I said, you have a water problem all over Jamaica,
Yes.
but in eastern Westmoreland, and in particular the entire Westmoreland, is having water problem. If you become the member of parliament for eastern Westmoreland, what can you do to help the people to have running water in their pipes?
You know, when it comes on to the water issue, especially in Eastern Westmoreland, because I've been, going around, and majority, maybe, uh, I would say more than 60% of this constituency is having water issues, right? Um, there are areas where there are pipes and no water there. When you talk about even the Betheltown area,
Mm.
it's piped up. But water, there's no water in the pipe. When in getting to understand the reason for this, the majority of persons say that here what there's a lot of illegal connections and persons are not paying their water bill, and that's why they don't have any water there. There are other issues with the pumps and how expensive they are, and they're just not working. Um, you know, so I think there should be there need to be greater attention placed on this water issue. When it comes down to the illegal connection, because I know that these persons would definitely pay their water bill. We went through a series of drought in the early part of this year, and persons had to be buying, water for their household, daily, with their daily life. And it would have cost them more than $12,000 monthly for their water bill. Now, if they had an NWC connection, they wouldn't be paying so much. They may be paying $3,000 monthly. So if they can afford to purchase water for $12,000, and it may not even last them for a whole month, I know they would, if we get them together, and create have a meeting with them, with NWC, and try to regularize these connections, and I think persons would catch on and pay the bills.
But Dr. Hall, it is a shame. It's a shame and disgrace that Westmoreland has rolling river. They have other springs around Westmoreland, and the people of Westmoreland don't have any water in 21st century Jamaica. It's a disgrace that the people of this
It
country,
is.
Jamaica is well renowned around the world as the land of wood and water and source of wood and water. We have successful government has failed the people of this country when it comes on to basic needs. Let's spend billions of dollars on stupidness. And when it comes on to basic needs, they don't have it.
True.
Dr. Hall, I don't want to think that I'm disrespecting you or disrespecting the party or anything like that. But the People's National Party, under the late, Lord forgive me to say it, under Robert Pickersgill, when he was Minister of Water, they promised the people that they will put water in their pipe. They spent $1 billion, if my memory serves me correctly, to pump water within Western Westmoreland and Westmoreland and whole. The Labour Party comes in, they have done nothing to say, okay, make we see if all the pumps are working properly. Get the pumps up and going and working, the pumps can pump water to the people. What are you going to do now? If you get in there, what are you going to do? I know I asked this question, I'm asking it over a different way. What are you going to do to help the people of Eastern Westmoreland to get water, because they need water to wash, to do everything? It
As I
hurts
said,
me.
yeah, definitely. I have to get all the stakeholders, together, because the issue, as I say, in each of the different communities, the issues are different. Maybe, as I said, when I try to find out what is going on in maybe Betheltown, it's not a issue of piping. There are pipes there, right? Some persons said there is not an issue of pump, but it is an issue of illegal connection, right? So it's
Oh,
really to sit down, find out in each of these areas what are the issues, because it seems like we're really not there's an issue with communication with the persons that are controlling this thing. Because it cannot be, as I said, it cannot be that the pump is working, the pipes are there, and we're not pushing any water through the community because they're saying that there are illegal connections there. No,
What NWC is telling you now, Dr. Hall? That everybody in
I,
Eastern Westmoreland have illegal connection?
no. So in some areas, it's not only about illegal connection. In some areas, there are no pump.
Oh Lord.
So and pumps are expensive from what I'm getting, right? So it's not about the source, but it's more about it's not about the source of water. Cause yeah, there's Roaring River there, but to pump it from Roaring River to wherever it needs to be, you know, it, it
Dr. Hall, we have a problem in this country that we don't service government vehicles and we don't service certain government things. Is it that the pumps are not being serviced properly? So the pump then just burn up, they just run 24/7 and burn up, there's no servicing?
it's a possibility. I can't speak to that because I'm not sure, but it's a high possibility. Because if they're going bad like that, is either that they're overworked, so the pump size for the population is too small, or is it that they're just not servicing them regularly like they should. So those little issues need to be solved. We need to get down to the drawing board and find out what is going on. Why is it that we just can't have water in the pipes? Something like water that is essential for life. So
Is it that the NWC is in charge of the pumps, or is it the constituency office of the member of parliament?
no, it's going to be the NWC.
The NWC. So if the NWC is in charge of the pumps, you are telling me say them not collect no money in the Eastern Westmoreland to service the pump? And I'm not asking you the question, I'm not saying that because I know you don't know.
well, well, it seems so.
No man, something wrong here.
But
We can't.
we can't settle for that. And a lot of persons tell me while going around that I'll accept that there's no road because maybe when you fix it, the rain come and break it up. But we cannot accept that there's no water.
My God.
They,
And
they,
I can't accept, and I will not accept that there's no road either, you know. They're not building the roads properly. My
drainage.
grandfather, when he was alive, I want to give you a little history about me. My grandfather, Noel Tavares, when he was alive, he was in charge of the public works in Westmoreland. And I remember as a little boy, when Noel Tavares and his other people get to the road, the PWD work to fix road, they put the stone and they roll it. They put the mall and they roll it. And they put the stone and they roll it. And they put the mall and they roll it. Then they put on the asphalt. And they make sure the road have a little slant. The road not flat. The road have a little slant and the water can run off. What these contractors are doing, they're not doing back in the days how they do it. What they're doing now is to put the little asphalt and the little mall. And they say it costs so much billions of dollars. And if a little rain fall tomorrow morning, broke up. Yeah. We can't continue like this as a nation. And we have people who don't know one damn thing about construction work. We have people who don't know one damn thing about fixing road or construction, fixing road. Go ahead, Dr. Hall, because I mean,
true. Yeah, it is significantly important that when we have proper drainage system whenever you're doing a road. Okay, it makes no sense that you spend the money on resurfacing the road and you don't have a drainage system there. So as soon as you fix it, when the rain falls, it's going to break it up. So we have to ensure that investment is placed in the right areas. So if it is that to build the drainage it is going to cut back on the length of the road that you're going to fix. You're going to have to do that. You have to make sure you fix one section properly and then move on. When the funds becomes available for the next section, then you do that section properly, so you know that you're not going to go over the work. But what is going on now is that when they resurface an area and they don't fix the drains, by the time the more money becomes available for another section, they have to be going through the one that they just fixed to patch it out, to or to even resurface it again. So I think we're not using the people's resources properly.
I hope that when you go in, I hope that when you go in, I hope that when you go in, sorry about the distraction. I hope that when you go in, you don't be like some of the members of parliament who say, vote for me, and I'll give you bread and can't spell bread. Or I'll give you a better road. And when they vote and put you in there, Dr. Hall gone like a Sammy mouth. Don't see when the election time come around.
And that's exactly something that we want to change. They are the promises, and you're not visible within your constituency. That is something that will break an MP, and that was one of some of the issues that the people were facing prior. They were saying that they're not seeing their MP enough. They can't hear their concerns, to him as they should. So to represent persons, you have to have an ear. You have to be there to represent them.
Yeah.
So it cannot be only when it's election time that you go around, and it's not something it's something that I've seen, and it's something, and it's not the type of politics that I'm planning on practicing. You know, I'm really not a politician. I'm a doctor.
Yes.
I'm here to serve the people. I'm here to
Have an ear. They have to.
I'm getting an echo.
Sorry, it was Dr. Hall. This gentleman here is Dr. Herb Nelson Jr. He is the chairman of Caribbean Studies in Washington, D.C. The
Okay.
Institute of Caribbean Studies in Washington, D.C. I invite him to come on because he said he has questions to ask you also, since you're becoming a new member of parliament. You're trying to become a new member of parliament. Dr. Nelson, Sir Herb Nelson Jr., welcome to the program, sir.
Hey, thank you very much, Jeffrey. Look, I want to apologize to the good doctor because I know he's been on a while. I've been listening out there in traffic in Washington, D.C., Doc. This traffic is it goes between us and Los Angeles. One
Uh,
year we are the worst, next year they are. Then it goes back and forth. But I can tell you, this is the worst traffic, even that this other night. And I came 70 miles just to do this because I was with my sick mom today. And I'm glad to be on. And I listened intensely, and some great questions from your host. And I just wanted to, I think you guys were talking about, what were you on, Jeffrey, a while ago?
We're talking about, oh Lord, I lost my train of thought. We're talking about water and
Okay.
roads in
and
the
Yes,
roads.
yes,
constituency, yes.
yes. I'm sorry. I dropped my train of thought just with the,
Yes.
but greetings to the listeners and to yourself, Doc. Westmoreland, to me, has always been one of the better kept secrets in Jamaica, to the point where, my dad was in the military band and he would take us out there. Take me in particular, because I was a bad boy in the family. Out of 11 of us, he had to keep me under control. So he would take me with the military band and we go down to the various parishes. But I always loved the West End of Jamaica. And when I heard that Zoso was going to be a reality, I thought positively, because I had briefed a Zoso type program. It's called Safer Cities, to the Ministry of National Security and to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I say, okay, great. This should work wonders for Jamaica. But let me ask you this. I know Jeffrey alluded to it earlier. The fact that we went into different neighborhoods and we scattered the bad boys to the four winds, we scattered them out to the West End. Is that what is accountable for quiet parishes? Parishes
Uh
who
oh.
is he gone?
We have lost him.
Wow, that's something
Mm.
else.
We're having some technical difficulties with his internet. I think we have lost him.
Has he
Doc, I
did
hope
he
he can
drop
come back on.
before?
Pardon me?
Did he drop off before?
Yeah, he dropped off before. Yes. I hope he can come back on. Let me get in contact with him. We're
Okay.
speaking. Oh, here he is. Doc,
Funny.
we lost it there a while ago, Doc. The internet is going in and out on your end.
Yes.
Yeah, but you
I,
seem to be a very versatile person, Doc. You appear and disappear and come back again. So, I know the party needs you in that sense. But what accounts for this badness, this breakdown in the parish of Westmoreland? I know there are other parishes out there, but just think Westmoreland right now.
when you say breakdown, you're talking about, infrastructure, because I lost you totally. So
Okay, I'm thinking about the breakdown with crime, with the youth just going bad overnight, going to gangsterism, shooting up the place, all these killings happening out there. Where did these people come from? Did they Were they born there and grew up there, or were these people who shifted from Kingston and St. Andrew, or from Clarendon, or from some other parish with problems? Did Zoso chase them out of where they were before, and did they reappear in Westmoreland?
I don't think the majority of the crime that we're seeing is because of a shift of gangsters from one area to the next. Um, you know, in Westmoreland, St. James, and because we're neighboring parishes, it kind of trickle over. Uh, they we had a lot of lottery scamming that would have accounted for a number of the increase in the violent activities. A lot of the time when these youngsters start making the money, they tend to invest in weapons and stuff like that. uh, so anytime the source of income starts to fall, then the crime tends to go up in the areas. The level of unemployment amongst the youngsters is another significant issue, right?
Mhm.
So to answer your question, majority of these violence producers are from the parish. um, you know, but it is that the lottery scamming was one of our major contributor to what in my opinion, to what this crime situation is currently in the Westmoreland.
Okay, now having pinpointed lottery scamming as an area of discontent, that lottery scamming, as I understand it, started in Montego Bay. Am I correct?
Uh, I can't say where it started. I don't have that data,
Okay,
but it is possible, because it was kind of one of the center places for it.
okay, and assuming that it trickled down into Westmoreland, um, the impact on Westmoreland has to be very great, because if you look at the list that we heard here in the diaspora, that there were lists of people who were retirees, who were on Social Security lists, who were on the IRS lists. Um, where would young men get these kind of lists from in Westmoreland to be able to be calling U.S. citizens up in the Northeast, in the South, in the Midwest? I mean, it's frightening when you think about somebody releasing. It's not classified, but it's sensitive.
But remember, the BPO sector
Right,
is one of the major employment industries in this area,
right.
right? So you're still going to have young people moving out of Westmoreland to for employment and job opportunities within St. James,
Uh-huh.
where majority of these BPOs are.
Okay.
Um, I would assume that through these BPOs they get the listing of persons in the US, their contact numbers, their social security numbers and stuff like that. So it's like one thing pushes for the next.
Leads to
Eh,
another, pretty
Right.
much.
So we're high employment in the BPO sector, and that's where the source of their information is coming from. I'm thinking.
Okay. No, I think that's a very good answer because, there's no other way we can think of. Now, we understand there are some tourists that comes down to Westmoreland, St. James, and those tourists who first were trying to help to defend the LGBTQ people in the area. They wanted to empower them. And we were told in the diaspora that as a matter of empowerment, they first, whether these tourists or could have been people from the BPOs who were foreign nationals, pass this information along to empower at first the LGBTQ community, because at one point in Montego Bay, we realized that that community was being killed by gang members who said they wanted to take it over. And I'm telling you this because I had a friend who was head of Homeland Security investigations at the U.S. Embassy in Kingston. And that's the story he passed on to me, that they wanted to take charge of the lotto scamming. By the way, the lotto scamming, according to the U.S. Um, attorney in responsible for the Midwest, I believe it's Idaho, he disclosed that Jamaicans have cost the people of the United States over 300 million US dollars. Now, I ask you as a man who's about town, do you see 300 million US dollars floating around Jamaica anywhere? Because I could not fathom that, right? 300 million US, if that money is being ripped off, then leads one to question, is this an organized criminal activity that they use our young men and women in Jamaica to, make the spill, to get the money movement going? Who's collecting the money, or who has collected 300 million US? Because I see maybe 3 million US that has been split up among the masses involved. But 300 million,
It's a possibility. It's a
you, you
it's a possibility that it may be in the hundreds of millions.
okay.
Um, you remember the
But
players.
who benefited in your opinion?
A lot of a lot of the players within the industry, there, a lot of the persons who were doing the scamming benefited. You know, you will see
Okay.
it from the homes that they would have built. You would see it from the cars that they are driving. You would see it from, you know. So I it's not 3 million US dollars. It is going to be, it is way more that would
Okay.
have come into the country from the lottery scamming. It some of the monies may have came in from, through different means. It is not only through the Western Union method that it would have, it came into the country. I've heard of stories where persons are collecting the money in the United States and transporting it to Jamaica. So,
Now,
and a number of persons have
mhm,
been caught through that means. You
right.
know, it was a very strong industry, if you want to call it an industry.
Okay, you
It,
use the
it
term was. So what's the status today of the lotto scamming
I
in
don't
West?
think it is. I don't think it is that strong anymore. From what I'm seeing on the ground, I don't think it's that strong anymore. It's still going on, maybe at a smaller level, but not as it was before.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
it may be due to higher. Yeah, I guess the United States is now doing more promotions and,
Mhm,
increasing the awareness of persons there,
mhm.
and that's why it's not as prominent and currently.
Okay. Jeffrey, you wanted to ask anything on that?
No, I,
Anything?
I I was just gonna say that the people of the Vumvava and the Vumvavi, I know Dr. Hall was saying, what the hell Jeffrey Tavares talking about? It's the
Mhm.
people of the Everland society. They get
Right.
they benefited from it too.
But of course they would have.
You believe that is some little dirty foot chose this boy according to Wilmot Perkins is involved in this lot of scamming in this country? You have some high ranking people involved in it.
But of course, I think so too.
Now, if you become a member of parliament, is there a prioritized list you have of things that impacts Westmoreland that you could move through parliament with the assistance of a majority? Or do you believe that there are other parishes out there that have a higher priority over Westmoreland? And how far down the list is Westmoreland out of 14 parishes?
You see, I'm going to be biased to Westmoreland. Westmoreland has a lot of issues, and they should be placed at the top of the list when we're going through. If we even look at Eastern Westmoreland when it comes on to, and we were talking about it previously, maybe 90% of the roads here needs fixing. It's not something that can be done overnight, but there's a lot of these roads that needs to be fixed. When you talk about a community with maybe 60 to 70%, a constituency with 60 to 70% of it having water issues, no water in the pipe, it's horrible.
Mhm.
So stuff like that needs to be pushed. When you look at the unemployment rate for the youngsters within the constituency, it's high. So even though they may have the statistics saying that unemployment is at the lowest, but we're not. The youngsters in Eastern Westmoreland would tell you that they're not feeling it, and
Mhm.
there's no job opportunities for them. When you look at the agricultural sector for a farming community, for a rural community, which majority of the income from majority of the persons are from farming, more investment needs to be done in farming, and more, well, I guess, increased technology when it comes on to the farming community, right? So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be placed on the front burner for Westmoreland, and in particular Eastern Westmoreland currently.
Doctor, may I, Sir Herb?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Doc, let me ask you this question. Do you believe at some point in time the tourism sector in Negril or in Westmoreland are going to die?
I don't think it's going to die, you know. But I think we need to improve and invest in it a little bit more.
All right. Do you believe that successful government, the People's National Party in a whole, has neglected Negril or the entire Westmoreland when it comes on to developing the tourism sector in that area?
I wouldn't say neglect. I would more say we more needed to have been invested in the area.
Look on the Negril Greater Marast area. I don't know why I have this in the back of my head. That Negril bridge from downtown Negril through all the way up to Green Island was supposed to be a cruise ship end, where cruise ship come through that area and dock in the Negril town, and tourists come off and go to Rolling River, go to YS Falls, wherever. Why is it? Right now the Cayman Islands have a thing where what they do is to put a platform in the middle of the ocean, and the cruise ship come there and people come off, just like what they have at the pier in Port Royal. So why is it that successful government couldn't develop something like that in Negril? If they can't afford to drench the Greater Marast area in the Negril area, that a cruise ship can go through and open up the bridge or whatever, that a cruise ship can go through and come into Negril. Negril has been the development of tourism in this country. And I believe, Dr. Hall, that the People's National Party, who has run Westmoreland from Wappy, Kill Philip and Philip dead, has neglected Westmoreland, has neglected Negril on a whole for many years. So as you become the member of parliament, hopefully, for Eastern Westmoreland, what will you say to your counterpart in Western Westmoreland, where that is in charge of Negril? You're in charge of Rolling River area because it's in your constituency. What are you going to say to them? What can we do to develop both Rolling River and the Negril Greater Marast area, or the entire Negril? Because Negril look like a bloody shanty town. My born and grow Negril, and Negril look like a shanty town.
I'm not going to say I'm going to agree with you that we have neglected the area totally. Investment has been done, but I don't think I think we can invest a little more, right? In as I was saying prior, in the White House division and that South Coast, there's significant amount of investment that can be done, especially when it comes on to tourists attractions and improving the beaches and stuff like that, to help there. In Negril there has been improvement. There's a lot of private sector that owns a majority section of that area. So it is going to have to be within proper communications and combined effort between the private sector and the government within these areas, so that we can achieve better infrastructure for the tourism.
I'm gonna let Sir Herb Nelson come in. But you know why I said in Negril? The people who started the hippie industry in Jamaica, and in Negril, I should say in Negril, they have been neglected. You have a Lamar Resort in the western strip of Negril, a Tigress, and other hotels in the western strip of Negril. If you see them now, because what? The all-inclusive hotels has taken away the tourism sector from the western strip of Negril. The only thing that goes on in the western strip of Negril is Rick's Cafe and maybe some other places. But the people who develop the tourism sector in Jamaica and in Negril, they have no say in the tourism industry anymore. It's just like the people who plant the ganja. Right now, the people of Negril, Orange Hill, Mount Airy, who plant the good sensimini, I don't smoke, I love to smell it. They can't even afford Dr. Hall, to have a greenhouse area. They can't even afford the license to plant the ganja. It's the same way they have neglected the tourism sector in Negril. The people who start tourism in Negril, the Arthurs, the Samuels, the Lawrence, they are the people who start the tourism industry in Negril. And they have been neglected, they have to sell out their property. I try to sell their property. That's what I'm talking about. The two political parties in this country, especially the People's National, who are vexed with me. It's the truth. They have neglected the tourism sector in Negril. The Minister of Tourism, Dr. Wickham McNeil, back in his days, he hasn't done a damn thing for Negril. Nothing Wickham McNeil has done for Negril. And he was a member of Parliament for down there for how many years? Look at Negril town. It looks like a shanty town. I'm passionate because, you know why? You know I'm so passionate, Dr. Hall? I am from Negril. I grew up in Negril. I remember the days I used to run on the beach in Negril, barefoot, go on the beach. To my grandmother, they give me breakfast to carry back down. I live up in Red Ground. What has become of the people who start the tourism industry in Negril? They can't get any leeway in the tourism sector anymore because the people of the Vumvavan and the Vumvavi, them take over. And government are doing a damn thing for them.
But we have noticed, and in recent times, that a lot of tourists, are coming out, and they prefer to stay in the small villas and the Airbnbs, because they get a better understanding of of Jamaica when they're here. I'm not going to I'm not going to say that here what is because of the, as you call them, the Vumvavims and the Vumvavams, that the smaller industry went out of business, or where they lost their investment. Um, Nowadays, as I said to you, the tourists are now seeking smaller areas, smaller villas, more intimate spaces to explore Jamaica. Maybe what we need to encourage is more promotion, and investing in marketing of these small business, right? um I can't, sometimes we can't dwell on the past. We have to ensure that we improve on the now and the future, so that we don't fall in the same problems that we had prior. So
But
yes,
if,
there should be, there must be consultation. There must be an a private governmental partnership when it comes on to the development of these areas, and I'm all for it. So we have to get back to the drawing board when it comes on to this, and it's something that needs to be looked at.
Herb Nelson.
Yes, Doc, you keep mentioning out of work young people. Now, the primary main roads, I understand that's the national government's responsibility. Am I correct?
Right.
And your secondary roads, that when I drive through that area,
Right. Parochial roads.
yeah, parochial roads seem really messed up.
Right.
Here in the US, even the guys who did my driveway, 10 meters wide and say 60 meters long, right? Those guys, it's only two of them working. and they can tear up the driveway, lay down marl and stuff, compact it, and then put several coats in these 5-gallon containers of the asphalt over it and let it dry. I say that to say this. If 2 people can run that operation, can our young people in the area, through the CDC, and I assume you have CDCs,
Yes.
right? Can those young people be organized to go to work and to actually do that? Now, in some areas, I notice when they have a breakaway from the main road, and I'm not talking about the one the government's responsible for. I'm talking about the roads, like we have a lane here that they have a breakaway. They came in and they've set up the frame, the wood frame around that breakaway area. They created a new base, and then on top of that base they put concrete. Then on top of the concrete they put the marl, and then the asphalt. Right? So you have various ingenious ways that engineers can come up and do some training. I don't know whether the Hart Foundation or who else down there runs technical schools like this. If the high schools do it, if the technical high schools are doing it, but somehow we have to get our schools to adapt the training that these kids need, so that these kids can probably become entrepreneurs, go out there and say to the parish council, look, or the parish council can propose to them, look, for so many square meters of roadway that you can build, we'll pay you X amount. They can give them an advance to get them started, to get the materials and stuff. And then they can go ahead and start getting this stuff done. You have people that probably could come out and train them on the job, right? You have masons who are out of work in Jamaica. You have carpenters out of work in Jamaica. So if you can create the situation where they can expand the roadway and create even a walkway to one side, right? Don't you believe that this type methodology, rather than wait forever for government to take action? I say that because where I live off in the Whitehall area in Kingston, I went ahead, I remember buying 17 shovels, and I got all these kids together. I had them shovel marl that was sitting on the sidewalk for about 10 years. They put the marl out in all the potholes, cover it over. People were passing and applauding. Some people called the Constant Spring police, and they rolled in, helmeted and everything else. And even them started applauding. And this is a few years back. But I had to go find the truck man carrying the asphalt so he could come in and pour some asphalt over it. And I had to pay him for that. Right? But all of these things I'm saying because I would love to see people of influence, not just you, but other influential doctors, lawyers, whoever else is around there, that you form a community association and you encourage the kids to get engaged, do something different. We can cost the kids from now till doomsday. And we can say, oh, these dirty boys, them just cause trouble all the time, yada, yada, yada. But if we help them to organize,
Important.
you see the difference. The leadership If they have the needed leadership, it will work, right? And I'm sure if you out there and you lead a group like that, I don't care what your opposition guy is doing. I say opposition, I mean government, MP, or whoever is running it. No, he's got to stand up and take notice. One of the things I've always advocated is that if you're going to represent the community, you ought to have property in the community. You ought to live there maybe at least 1 month out of the year. So, I mean, is that something that you have a vision that you could see them doing it all over the parish? Because they can't run out of work. If they finish off your parish, they move to the next parish. Although that might cause problems from the local dons or whoever running those parish. But is that something that you could see happening that could help these young men
Well,
engage in the community?
definitely. It is important, because you're not going to have the full funding to get a contractor to deal with every single road. And
Uh-huh.
if you want the money to stretch,
Yeah.
you're going to have community involvement when you're dealing with a number of these parochial roads.
Right.
So yes, it is something that can be considered and should be considered and can be implemented.
Mhm.
Definitely. Because if you get the community involvement, get the youngsters involved because it's already been done. A lot of these little roads and communities
Right.
are patching their own roads,
Good.
right? So they have already started certain some things. So it's really to get on board with them and try to push a little fund behind them
Mhm.
and try to achieve as a community. I know it should be possible.
Okay. Another aspect I'd like to ask you about. You hear about the blue economy throughout the different islands. You hear about the beach erosion. You hear about fisheries, and you hear about ocean cleanup. And that means instead of thinking about what happens on land, people now start thinking about what they can do, including the 12-mile exclusion zone around the island that the Coast Guard patrols. If it means getting a boat, teaching these kids how to dive and how to clean up the ocean around the place, right? There's a lot of garbage being dumped in the water. Okay. Has anybody thought that the blue economy to include laying down some of these large stones is gone again?
We have lost him. I know he said he couldn't be staying long with us, so I don't know if he just drop off or is the internet did it.
No, it's probably the internet, man, because
Yes,
he was listening to the question.
right.
I was trying to find out if you have to find out if there's alternative thinking when
Mm-hmm,
you have a community that's out of jobs and the community encompass a large coastline, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So damage to the coastline and dumping a garbage out there, all that stuff. There should be a grant that they could get from the UN Seabed Authority in Jamaica to probably get the boat staff, and get the
Mm-hmm.
crew out there. You see the advertisement on television here where these young men go out and they dive and they clean up the plastic and all the mess that's out there.
Right.
Because when you catch fish nowadays and you cook the fish and you cut it open, you see all this plastic jutting out from the insides, right? This blue economy cleanup And okay, Doc, there you are.
We have lost you, and I know you have to go also, that because I got you out of your office when you seen the last patient, and I know
Yes.
you have to head home and everything. So I'm gonna have Sir Herb ask you the final question, and then you give us your final word to wrap up.
Yeah, Doc, I'm just trying to get an idea of deeper thinking because obviously some of these MPs that you have down there, they're not thinking about uh, blue economy, something driven from the sea, right? The cleanup around Jamaica, the cleanup of the beaches, the restoration of beaches, that kind of stuff. Um, our young people need to learn these things too. And I know the Cadet Corps as a Marine division, right?
Mhm.
So this could be something brought again into the schools, and our young people can be schooled in this marine technology of restoration, and also of collecting the materials that don't belong in the ocean that's being dumped there. But you have the Seabed Authority in Jamaica and other means of getting the grant money, right? Again, this comes back to the CDC, the ideas that the CDC has. Have you heard any of this thing being espoused about a blue economy, cleanup, or beach restoration, this kind of stuff that would go well for Westmoreland?
I can't say I have heard in recent times, but there has always been programs that are put in place by schools that they because I've seen it in Westmoreland, a number of schools that goes to the beaches and does the cleanup. There's a
Hmm.
little cleanup program for,
Right.
especially during certain time, maybe Labor Day, other little projects that they do take part in.
Hmm.
I can't say that I know of it being on a wide scale or a government initiative,
Hmm.
uh, you know, in recent time. I can't say that, but it's something that we have to vie for and promote significantly, because when you look at the rivers and the number of garbage that it is pushing in the
Right.
ocean, right at the river mouth,
Hmm.
you can see the impact that it is going to create, and that it is already creating on the environment. I know they had an initiative in Kingston. They started that where they have a catchment for right at the mouth of where the river enters, right at the mouth of
Right.
the river
Right.
there, where they catch the garbage and then clean it
Hmm.
up from there. I think it's
Hmm.
something that needs to be pushed right across the country, right? But definitely it's an important aspect, and it's something that we worked on as the PNP YO groups
Yeah.
majority of the times as a project that they take up, river cleanup and beach cleanup, ever so often. So it's
Yeah.
something that is important, and we know of it, and it's something that we definitely maybe need to push a little bit more energy in.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, most definitely, if you can get the Cadet Corps to expand its Marine branch down in Westmoreland, then I would think that that could be a learning achievement for them, because then you have people could donate boats and other equipment that could be utilized in such a cleanup, right? And I'm looking forward to fresh ideas that you can introduce into the parliament when you become MP for that area. So I thank you, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Doc,
Jeffrey.
somebody asked a question. How can they donate to your campaign? And I know in America you have Cash App and you have this and you have that and you have devils know what. I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can contribute to Doc campaign. Maybe he can tell you. I don't know. I know Jamaica has some campaign laws that you have to abide with.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have to be careful how we say camp donation from overseas people
Warm up.
too.
But
You know,
when it comes on to campaign and donation, it must be an open donation. Somebody that is, it must be someone that you can say who they are, where it's
yes,
coming from, stuff like that. Um, so for that I can't answer currently,
yes,
but
yes,
my contact is there, and if we can speak on it, if it is possible, then
yes.
I'll.
What the viewer can do is go to Facebook and look for Dr. Glendale Hall, and you'll get him there. Dr. Hall, your final word to my Make We Talk people who are viewing you and listening to you, because I am being told by my producer that you have people all the way from Zambia listening to you.
Ah, that's
So,
Mm.
good.
a lot of people may think that this program don't go far and wide. Yes, we do. So, your final word to your Jamaicans in the diaspora and your people in Eastern Westmoreland.
It's just to say thanks for having me, and it was a good talk. Politics has evolved significantly over the years, and we have to create new and improve ways in which we can reach out to persons. What I've noticed in my campaign is that persons aren't energetic anymore or enthused by politicians. They believe that everyone that comes up means this, it's coming with the same, just coming to take, or just yeah, a lot of promises, right? So it's a hard road to sometimes when you're working against past history, it's a hard road, but it's something that I'm here for the improvement, especially of Eastern Westmoreland, and then later on the wider Jamaica, right? As I said, it is important to get young youth involvement. We've heard it on both sides, but even more so that they're saying that we don't have the young people involvement, especially on the
Oh, Lord.
Can't
I
keep about
think
to
his internet has been acting up. We're speaking to Dr. Glendale Hall, MP aspirant for Eastern Westmoreland under the People's National Party ticket. Everyone know that Westmoreland is a PNP country. PNP have always won in that area of the country. We're speaking to him, but I think we're having some issues with him. I just want to say thanks to everyone who is watching us. Sir Herb,
yeah.
your views, your final word, and also your views on the new constitutional reform that they're having. I send you a clipping of them having a live debate in Shamshab Square.
Yeah. Look, I think that the government was ill prepared to have launched the campaign to change our constitution there, and from constitutional monarchy to president and a republic. I think they reacted because there was so much clamor for it around the time of Prince William visit. I don't believe that there was a proper outline, and I said that to our good friend from CVM who came on Rattigan's program. That where's the outline?
Yes.
Where's the planning? Where's the design? Right? Who's gonna be responsible for what? Right? And worse yet, there was no media blitz that gave any outlines or gave any advanced information. And when I went to the JIS website, there you are, Doc. You want to go ahead and finish?
Doc, we lost you again.
right.
We lost you.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
wrap
at
up
my
and then
office.
I'll let you go. Yes,
You're a
because
trooper, Doc. That's right. You
Right.
don't give up.
So
I like
yes.
that.
no, not at all. And these are some of the issues that we are facing in Eastern Westmoreland. When it comes down to the internet issue,
Yeah.
it's a big problem. So I'm at my office, and that's one of the issues that we're facing. It's faced right through the area, right? So
Mm.
just saying thanks for having me, and we're bringing a fresh thinking and new ideas to the table, and I believe I'm the change that these persons the persons
That
of
they need.
Eastern
Yeah.
Westmoreland can believe in. So thanks for having me, and have a great day.
Doc,
Same to you,
who's the
sir.
internet provider, by the way?
Flow.
Flo. Yeah. Well, we need to call them out.
Flow
I
and
mean,
Jesus
this is
smell.
ridiculous. It shouldn't be doing. It shouldn't be happening like this.
And and
Yeah.
and and, and,
Eh,
and you know the funniest thing, sir Herb? When
Yeah.
they have all of these issues, they still send the bill to the people to pay them.
I know, maximum bill. That's who I have in Kingston.
that's what it is.
It's ridiculous.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Dr. Hall, thank you so much for coming on. Don't be a stranger. Don't be
No
a
problem.
stranger. I will call you because I know you maybe can help me with somebody who I would love to come on my program. But I'll call you and talk to you off air pertaining to that. Dr.
Yeah,
Hall,
man. No
thank you so
problem.
much for coming on.
No problem.
God go
Thanks for
with
having
you.
me.
Yes,
You
sir.
too.
Okay. All
And
right,
don't
Doc.
be a stranger to the Make We Talk.
Have a good night.
Not at all. See, you
All right,
can
sir.
link me up anytime.
All right, sir. I will. God bless. Yes, sir. Herb. Well, your final take on you're talking about the Constitution and they didn't
Yeah, the outlay for such an important question. I am. I didn't see where there was depth to the planning at first. They have a lot of different people on board, but they don't have no young people that I could see, right? Um, I didn't see a lot of women there because women are more meticulous. They take care in planning and developing things. Yes, it's headed by a woman who heads the ministry,
yes.
legal and constitutional affairs, but the publicity is a big key to anything. If they go back and look at the best practices, who's the most recent? Barbados. Barbados had a outlay. They put it out there, and they have a brilliant prime minister who outlined everything. But then
But
you have go ahead.
Sir Herb, I think a lot of Jamaicans is saying that the Prime Minister, along with his technocrats, are pushing this constitution reform and republic down our throat. And the people don't know one damn thing about it. The people don't understand nothing to talk about republic. Because even on my channel here, I bring the thing live. And people are asking, what is the meaning of a republic? Is it that the republic going to wipe away Jamaica's $2 trillion debt? I have to tell them, say, no. Our problem is still there.
Yep.
Our crime pandemic is still there. Our debt of $2 trillion Jamaican dollars is still there.
Well, one of the observations I've made when I look back at Guyana, Trinidad, I think Dominica, when these folks made the quantum leap from the British monarchy to the republic status, they were at the top of their production, industrial wise, tourism, and everything else. They were doing quite well. They were comfortable, right? Now here's Jamaica in debt up to their high balls, right? Full of corruption. And you have to ask the question, how are we going to manage our debt if we are on our own completely? How we're going to have to tax people. You can't have 30% of the people paying light bill. You can't have 30% of the people paying water bill, right? you're going to have across the board people paying for the electricity and the water. You can't have the gym screecher business or bandula stuff where somebody from water commission or somebody from the electric company running your light, running wiring, or pipes for water, and you have a workaround, and they make a profit off of you, right? This is not going to work. You have to have a responsible citizen who pay into the tax base so the country can pay its bills.
Yes.
And you have to have responsible politicians who are not in a rip-off mode to where they have to get their palms greased in order for things to happen in a positive manner. You can't have that, right?
So
I noted that our good friend Mr. Clark went down to Wilma's high school and was teaching them about the budget.
Yes.
If you really and truly want them to learn about the budget, then put a software out there that shows the sources of funding, shows the budget, and that they can track all the spending. That's called transparency. Without transparency, him going out and talking to Wilma's, and Wilma's trying to figure out, okay, so how do I track this budget?
Because all he's going to talk about is algorithm.
Well, he can algorithm all he wants. If there's a transparency, then he hasn't really accomplished what I believe he intended to do.
Yes.
But the bottom line is he's got to treat these kids as being intelligent and being computer savvy, and that they can track and trace a budget better than you and me. All right.
So Herb, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
No
this
problem.
This is where we say so long from here until our next platform meeting. I think we're going to talk about the Constitution and also our security system. We're going to talk about the Minister of National Security said that crime has decreased in how many percent. Myself and Sir Herb Nelson Jr. will be digging deep in that. We're also going to have a discussion on our constitutional reform. So stay tuned for that. Until you hear my voice again. Go ahead, Sir Herb.
I was going to say to you, my good friend from Daisy Magazine is on, and I see she made some. So she's speaking about access to beaches, hindrance to small hoteliers. She's right, and we talk about the beaches and recovering the beaches and the soil erosion and the dumping of garbage and all kinds of plastics and stuff. But she's right. If you have 500 miles of beaches in Jamaica and Jamaicans can only occupy a little over 2 miles of beaches, that's not good. We need to do like Barbados. If we're going to follow them to become a republic, then the PM office need to open up all beaches anywhere so people can, wherever they are, walk down to the beach and enjoy it.
This one can't open up the beaches, because he sell it to his friends and cronies and give away how much acres of land to the Chinese, all in the name of highway. Anyway, that is for a different topic and a different time.
All right. Well, good night, Maria. Good seeing you out there.
Sir Herb, thank you so much for coming on, sir.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate it. And thanks to you listeners for listening.
Thank you. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you and may God bless the Jamaica land we love.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, Don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.
Do you need graphic design services? Or maybe you need branding for your business? How about multimedia production services? Contact Brown's Media and Graphics at 876-877-1870. Brown's Media and Graphics, developing your ideas, creating your style.